In this video, I'm going to take you through exercises directly from our new Golfer's Elbow program. We set this up so each day of the program includes an emphasis on targeting local tissues of the forearm and elbow, as well as shoulder strengthening exercises and thoracic movements. Additionally, day 1 and 3 include other compound and accessory lifts. Today, I'm going to show you exercises, sets, reps, and rationale from day 2 of this program. But before diving into these, it's important to understand why these exercises can be helpful. As you may know, those diagnosed with golfer's elbow typically experience pain along the inside part of the elbow near the medial epicondyle of the humerus, with gripping, twisting, lifting, and other similar movements. Medial epicondylitis was a common term used for this condition because it was thought the tendons around this area were inflamed, the suffix itis implying inflammation of the medial epicondyle. However, a consensus statement from 2020 determined medial elbow tendinopathy is a more appropriate term, with the pain and loss of function related to mechanical loading. A very simplified explanation is that your load exceeds your capacity, or in other words, the demand of your activity on your elbow is greater than your ability to tolerate it. This is where exercises and modifications can help, as they allow you to build your capacity back up, ultimately allowing you to tolerate more demand or load. So let's jump right into it, starting with exercises from day 2 of our program. First up, you will be performing a superset of half kneeling thoracic rotation and thoracic extension on a bench for 1 to 2 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions each. Start in a half kneeling position and rotate over the up knee, twisting through your mid to upper back. As you rotate, keep your eyes on your hand. Next, you will move into thoracic extension on a bench. Here you will place your elbows on a bench or another surface and hold your hands together. As you sit back towards your heels, bend your elbows and actively pull your chest through your arms. Hold that end position for 1 to 2 seconds and then repeat. Again, you will perform one set of 8 to 10 thoracic rotations to each side and then move right into 8 to 10 repetitions of the thoracic extension on the bench. Repeat this for 1 or 2 sets, depending on how you feel. Since those who experience golfer's elbow typically engage in activities requiring higher demands of thoracic and shoulder mobility, such as golf, tennis, or throwing sports, improving these motions can potentially help reduce unwanted stress at the elbow. Next up, you will perform a prone Y for 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 15 repetitions, 1 to 3 reps shy of failure. Lie on a bench, another elevated surface, or you can perform on the ground if needed. Keeping your elbows straight, lift your arms up toward the ceiling so they form a Y with your body. If this is too easy, you can make this more challenging by holding weights in your hands. After completing all sets of the prone Y, you'll move into a single arm dumbbell pullover on a bench for 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 15 repetitions on each arm, 1 to 3 reps shy of failure. Slowly pull a weight over your head as far as tolerable while keeping the elbow straight. As you move the weight overhead, think about flattening your low back to the ground to really engage your abs. Hold that bottom position for 1 to 2 seconds and then repeat. If you do not have a dumbbell or weight, but do have access to a band, an alternative is a hip hinge single straight arm pull down with the same parameters. Hinge in the hips, keep your low back relatively flat, and with a straight arm, pull the band down towards your side. At the bottom, think about squeezing behind your armpit. Strengthening the muscles around the shoulder and scapula may be helpful for reducing the relative demands placed on the elbow and have been shown to result in better outcomes than programs which only focus on strengthening the elbow. The last 2 exercises will place an emphasis on local tissues of the elbow and forearm, the wrist flexors and pronators. Pain around the medial elbow can result in disuse and weakness of these muscles, so the goal is to emphasize isolated strengthening in order to increase their strength and capacity. You will start with dumbbell wrist flexion for 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions on each side, 1 to 3 reps shy of failure. Support your forearm on a table or bench with your elbow bent. Slowly bring the palm up toward the ceiling, and then with control, lower it back down to the floor. Complete 1 set, rest for 2 minutes, and then repeat for another 2 to 3 sets. And finally, you will move into the last exercise, which will focus on strengthening the forearm pronators. Complete 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions, 1 to 3 reps shy of failure. Again, support the forearm on a table or bench with elbow bent. Start with dumbbell facing up and rotate it outward, ending with palm facing up. Make sure you move slowly and with control throughout the motion. For either of these exercises, if you do not have a dumbbell or weight, you can alternatively use a band. The wrist flexion exercise will be performed in the same position, while forearm pronation will be performed standing with the band anchored securely to a door or another object. Do the exercises need to be completely pain-free? Not necessarily. Here are 3 parameters to follow. Number 1, keep pain tolerable during exercise, about a 3 out of 10 or lower. Number 2, no increase in symptoms the next day. If pain is higher the next day, you may have done too much or pushed too hard. But don't worry, this happens. Just make a note and adjust accordingly next time. And finally, number 3, you want to see gradual improvement over weeks to months. Are you able to progress weight or repetitions each week, tolerate more activity? This process will take time. Can you continue with other lifts? Yes, but follow the previously mentioned parameters regarding pain. Additionally, here are some possible modifications. Deadlifts or rows. If higher loads exacerbate symptoms, you can use lifting straps to reduce gripping demands. Pull-ups. You can change the style of grip. Try supinated or palms up, pronated or palms down, or neutral, whichever you find more tolerable. And finally, consider using dumbbells, kettlebells, cables, or machines as opposed to a barbell, since these will allow for more variability in shoulder and forearm positioning, potentially reducing stress at the elbow. Can you continue playing sports? Yes, but make sure you follow the previously mentioned parameters regarding pain and make sure these do not hinder your progress with the exercise program. You may also need to manage the intensity and/or volume of your activities. For example, maybe you can only tolerate playing 9 holes of golf as opposed to 18. So to summarize, in order to most appropriately manage golfer's elbow or medial elbow tendinopathy, your goal is to build up the capacity of your elbow and surrounding tissues so they can ultimately tolerate more load. You do this by reducing or modifying aggravating activities as needed and implementing exercises within a certain pain threshold. The exercises shown in this video are taken directly from day 2 of the 3rd phase of our Golfer's Elbow program. If you need more guidance outside this video, this program can help you out a lot. Here's how it is set up. If you are busy or do not have a ton of time, you can choose to do our basic program. It takes about 20 minutes, 3 times a week, and requires minimal equipment, just some dumbbells or bands. Alternatively, you can choose our comprehensive program. Same exercises as shown earlier, but with additional compound and accessory movements, so no stone is left unturned. Both programs include 4 phases and run 16 weeks. If you are interested in this program or learning more, check the link below for more details. I will also put a limited time discount code for 25% off, which will run for the next 2 weeks. All right, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you found it helpful, please do us a huge favor and tap that like button. If you have not already, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. If you have any questions or suggestions for future content, just drop those down below. Until next time.